This guy's always in a baseball mood. Sean Casey, MLB Network analyst, 3-time All-Star with the Reds, and his podcast, The Mayor's Office, wherever you get your podcast. How's the voice today?
Danny, good, man. How you doing, brother? What a game that was last night, huh?
Okay. Did you think the Mets were done?
You know what? I actually did at the end of the game, especially with Williams coming in. I thought down 2-0 that their offense wasn't getting going, and I really did, and then they proved us all wrong.
But like Pete Alonso goes up there looking for one pitch. Would that be the hitter's mentality in a situation like that?
You know what? I think obviously in that situation, you could tell he was trying to stay to right center to stay on the ball because Williams' changeup is one of the best in the game. I think he threw 176 changeups this season, no homers off it. So for Alonso to hit a 3-1 changeup for a homer to right field is like so improbable. That's how big of a deal it was. But I do think Alonso was still on the fastball, and it was a changeup he just left up.
Yeah, isn't that amazing that he knows that, like Mariano Rivera would throw the slider. He could tell you he's throwing the slider. It didn't matter, right?
Dude, I mean, Mo talk about stories. A quick story. I don't know if I've ever told this on here, Danny, but talk about Mariano Rivera. One time I got the day off in Detroit, and Leland comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Case, you're leading off the 9th against Mo." I'm like, "Oh, thanks for the day off. This worked out great." so Danny, I go up there. I'm like, "All right, I know he's throwing me a cutter. So does everyone in the park, and so does everyone in baseball. So I'm gonna step in the bucket. I'm gonna step towards the dugout, see if I can get to that cutter and shoot one to right." So sure enough, it happens. Mo throws me a pitch. It's a cutter. It's everything I thought it was. I step in the bucket, and the thing starts coming in like a heat-seeking missile, Danny. It's coming towards my chest. I'm like, oh, my God, this is going to hit me in the chest. I do an incredible swing. I hit this ball, one of the furthest balls I ever hit, over their dugout, almost out of the stadium. Like, it was like some of the worst hitting you've ever seen. Yeah. And next pitch, Danny, I got the same approach. I'm going to step in the bucket. Mo throws me a sinker. I didn't even know he had it. Bam. 15 hopper back to him. Broken bat. I'm out. And I told Leland, hey, thanks for that at bat. It really worked out for me.
Yeah, I said slider, a cutter with Mo. What do you think of the best of 3 format?
I like it. I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously, it gives each team a couple games to get some starters going. Use your bullpens. I thought it's been great so far. Obviously, only one game went to 3, and it was a great one. But I like the best of 3.
I did too, because all of a sudden the road team wins that first game. Now all of a sudden you got do or die, even though the home team gets all 3 games. I liked it. It was tension. There's excitement. And I thought it was just fun to watch because every game truly mattered. Those best of 7, you can lose a game or lose 2, and you're like, okay. You lose 1 in best of 3, now all of a sudden you got people's attention.
Yeah, especially that game 1. It seems like you lose game 1, man. You really if you're the team that lost, you really got to lock it in. But you're right. It's the pressure and the impact of those games is so heightened when you're watching them.
Okay, best storyline. If I said Royals, Tigers, Padres, out of those 3, best storyline.
Royals, Tigers, Padres. You know what? Best storyline has to be the Tigers. It just has to be the fact that the Tigers at the beginning of August were like, I think 10 games under 500, or 10 games out, 8 games under 500 or something like that. And all of a sudden they make this run, which is incredible, especially with the way AJ Hinch did it. Obviously, Scooble's probably going to win the Cy Young, but really he went to that bullpen was used more than any team in the game. The way they used them was incredible. And I also think that lineup is so young and so hungry. There looks like they're having so much fun out there, Dan. I think for me, that's been the biggest storylines, the Tigers.
We had Dave Roberts on a couple of weeks ago, and he said he was going to leave open the possibility of Otani pitching in the postseason.
I mean, that would be incredible, wouldn't it? I mean, can you imagine the year we've seen 50-50 in Otani? If he showed up at any point in the postseason, it would just be one of the greatest years ever. If he just pitched 1 inning.
I can't have it. I can't allow it to happen.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's not happening.
I can't.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it should happen because obviously you just paid him $700 million. You want to see him healthy for next year, but you never know, Dan. They need that one inning to win it all.
Could he be underrated?
Can you believe? Yeah, can you believe that's a great question. Could he be underrated? Yes, I actually think he could. Now that we've seen what he can do when he's not pitching, because stealing those 50 bags, I don't think he would do if he was still in the rotation. Yeah. But just showing the world that, no, when I'm not pitching, this is the player I am. I can go 50-50, and I bet you could play like center field too and dominate there if they let him. But the fact that he's still one of the best pitchers in the game. This guy throws 100+ miles an hour with a nasty split finger, and he's only getting better. I feel like the more he pitches in this league, he's only getting better. So it actually could be underrated.
MLB Network has live coverage before and after every league divisional series game starting this weekend. Plus, we're talking to Sean Casey, his podcast, The Mayor's Office, wherever you get your podcast. Yeah, you start to look at him, and now you had 4 steals in a season. I think that was your high. So
2003, I remember it. It was. I won a large pizza. Chris Welsh was one of the guys in the booth. He said, "Listen, if you get four stolen bases, I'll buy you a large pizza at the end of the year." I was like, "You got it." So,
but there's no asterisk by your stolen bases. These bases are now as big as a pizza box. Right?
Good one, Danny. Good one.
You could have had 6 stolen bases that year. But I brought that up to Big Papi. I said, that year you hit 54 home runs, you had 1 stolen base. He said, they gave me a standing ovation that I made it to second base. Steals are up, though. I mean, they're inviting you, encouraging you to steal. Will that trend continue?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing with Otani, I mean, it's easy to kind of say that, but then you look at the guys in the game. I mean, wasn't he second in Major League Baseball in steals? I think De La Cruz was 1, and I think Otani was 2. So it wasn't like everybody, if the bags are bigger, why isn't everybody stealing 50 bases? Why isn't, you know what I mean? I mean, so I don't know. I obviously it's easier to steal now, but still guys aren't doing it like they could be. But if I was on these bases, I definitely would have had at least 5 one year.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
I also think that we've underrated Ronald Acuna, his 41-73 stolen base season. Now, I know it's going to be forgotten because of Otani, but to go 40-70 a couple of years ago, I mean, that's remarkable. And I don't think it got the attention it deserved. Like, there's a couple, like, to me, Fred Lynn is forgotten. He was Rookie of the Year MVP, 9-time All-Star, not a Hall of Fame. Like, there's certain guys, certain moments, seasons that always come to mind for I don't know why, but those are a couple of random thoughts that I don't know why Fred Lynn, 1975 Rookie of the Year MVP, 9-time All-Star, I believe, not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, there's a lot of guys that come to my mind when you start to go down that path, but like a Lance Berkman, or just some guys, Don Mattingly, some of the guys I think have had incredible careers that showed me in Cooperstown.
Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy. Yeah. You're right, though, Dan. I think there definitely is a stigma with the bases being a little bigger. And I think when you look at Acuna's numbers and you go, wow, 40-70, that is incredible. I mean, will we ever see that again? I mean, Ellie De La Cruz probably has a shot to do it. You know what it makes me think of, really, Dan? Ricky Henderson. I mean, 120, what was he stealing? 120 bags a year with the bags being smaller. Like, guys are getting to 70 now. And we're going, this is incredible. Henderson was stealing 100 bags numerous times. You know what I mean? To look back what Ricky Henderson doing, you have to go, wow, now that's incredible.
Great to talk to you. Bring the energy next time if you can, okay?
I will, Danny. You're the best, man. Good luck to you guys. See you soon.
Sean Casey, MLB Network analyst and 3-time All-Star. They're going to have coverage before and after every league divisional series game starting this weekend.